Hi everyone, Eric Hall with the Blaze of Glory. Well, I've decided to answer this question about what or where warm waters halt. What a bunch of characters I've gotten mixed up with. In academia, there's a couple of terms. A rhetorical question is one that doesn't need to be answered because the person asking the question already knows. And an invalid question is a question that simply cannot be answered. This may be a touch of both. It's a rhetorical question because we all know we can't figure out where warm waters halt if we don't know what they are to begin with. The poem tells us we're to look for where warm waters halt, but we don't agree on what that is. So, it's a touch of an invalid question. We can't figure out where warm waters halt is. Of course, there's one theory, the New Mexico fishing regulations delineating warm waters from cool waters, and probably the only place you can follow the clues from there is around Chama. But for me, I've never been able to get the rest of the clues of the poem and other hints we've been given to fit there, or downstream from there. Another theory has been hot springs. There's a number of those up and down the Rocky Mountains. Most of them are of such inconsequential size, there's not much water coming out of them or downstream from them. There's some of the larger ones that I think maybe are worthy of some further exploration. You might have a big argument about where their warm waters would halt, but at some point downstream where they become cool waters, I'm sure. Early on, we thought that a dam was a place where warm waters halt, but Forrest Fenn has taken that out of the list of possibilities for us. I thought heavily about the caldera rim in Yellowstone, or a larger imaginary line around the thermal features, and you could go out a number of directions from there, down rivers and canyons and valleys. There's quite a few going out from that region. It could be, I know one of the issues I raised this summer, and somebody else before me, was the possibility that warm waters halt when they're frozen, snowpacks, glaciers, because that water is no longer in the water cycle, so it's halted. There are, in northern Yellowstone, there's the dormant or extinct geyser cones. There's one at Mammoth Springs. There's one, Soda Butte over on the northeast side of Yellowstone. That's another possible definition for where warm waters halt and what it means, because the warm water or the hot water is no longer erupting out onto the surface. It's gone. Another possibility is names. In northeastern Yellowstone, again, there's a warm creek that empties into Soda Butte Creek. You have warm creeks. I'm sure that water's not warm either, but it's called Warm Creek by name. There are some other places where creeks with hot-sounding names empty into, Icebox Canyon. It could just be the name where hot meets cold, and that would be where warm waters halt, even though it's not a description of the temperature of the water, just a use of names. One of the commonly cited places is Madison Junction, or possibly just upstream from there, the end of the geyser basins, where Forrest Fenn had his free baths. Hot water, boiling water, geysers and springs pouring into cool water creeks, making warm water. Where does that halt? It's when you leave the geyser basin, there's no more of it. It could be that where warm waters halt is a place where there is no more occurrence of warm water. You've left the warm water region. It could be something like when my hot water heater busted and all the water ran out, there was no more warm water in the shower. It could be a place where there simply is no more warm water. It's gone. You're not going to find any more. It's cold out there. Well, that's my 2 cents. You've got to figure out what it is before you know where it is, and we don't agree on where warm waters halt is. So we continue searching. Remember to click like, share, and subscribe.